This week in AI, filtered for people who would rather not attend the implementation meeting. 3 developments matter. 1 removes the consultant maze. 1 shows what happens when plausible AI output enters an official database. And 1 explains why copying a chatbot into Slack is not collaboration. The theme is simple. Useful AI should reduce human translation. Useful AI should reduce human translation, not quietly outsource it back to you. First, a startup called June emerged from stealth with $20 million in pre-seed funding. Its pitch is almost comically relevant to quiet operators. AI deployment should not require another army of consultants. Enterprise agents usually fail in the boring layer underneath the model. Salesforce has duplicate fields. Workday uses one definition, ServiceNow uses another. Years of technical debt turn a clean demo into weeks of calls. June scans existing systems, maps business processes, and produces a step-by-step implementation roadmap. A task might say, remove these duplicates, connect this data source, then build. That is the signal. It removes the need for an army of architects and forward-deployed engineers to fix basic data hygiene. It turns a complex consulting project into an inspectable sequence of events for the internal team. One mortgage lender told TechCrunch it had spent weeks meeting experts without progress before June showed where agents could be deployed safely. The introvert signal is not that consultants disappear tomorrow. It is that the first implementation conversation can become an inspectable checklist. You arrive with evidence, dependencies, and a sequence instead of a hopeful slide deck. That is a much quieter way to ask an organization to change. It is data-driven, not personality-driven. For the quiet professional, this is the ideal tool. It builds the case so you don't have to perform the pitch. By mapping the debt, you remove the friction of ambiguity. You move from guessing to executing. This is the first signal. Automation that clarifies the starting line instead of just promising the finish line. When the roadmap is inspectable, the progress is inevitable. Now let's look at the second signal. Second, JFrog audited a batch of frightening SQLite vulnerability reports and found a paperwork horror story. A new GitHub account had published more than 50 advisories. The National Vulnerability Database marked several critical. 1 received a score of 10 before being downgraded. But JFrog says the cited functions did not exist in the claimed versions. Line numbers pointed past the end of files. Supposed fixes were absent from the source history. Proof of concept payloads did not crash anything. JFrog concluded 54 were fabricated. 1 mixed a real bug with unverified metadata. The rest were hallucinations or deliberate noise. A plausible advisory can flow into databases and automated scanners before anyone reproduces it. Then a security agent can open tickets, search for ghost functions, or generate an unnecessary patch. This is the cost of synthetic urgency. It creates work for humans that doesn't need to exist. For the solo builder, the rule is wonderfully unglamorous. Verify the evidence before you act. The problem is larger than one bad repository. Before an urgent CVE steals your afternoon, check the maintainer's advisory page. Find the commit, confirm the affected version, and reproduce the proof of concept in isolation. AI can triage the queue. It cannot be the evidence that the queue is real. Plausibility is not proof, especially when an LLM is involved. We are entering an era where the cost of generating a lie is near zero, but the cost of verifying it is still high. This is why the forensic mindset is so valuable now. You have to be the one who asks, where is the commit? Check for line numbers that don't exist and functions that haven't been written yet. Don't let the scanner do your thinking. When you find a ghost, name it. Protect your time from synthetic urgency. That is the second signal. When you find a ghost, name it. Protect your time from synthetic urgency. That is the second signal. Now, for the most personal signal of all, the quality of your own handoffs. Because if you aren't careful, you might become the source of the noise. Don't be a meat proxy. Third, the most discussed AI post on Hacker News this morning was titled, "Don't be a meat proxy." The author described asking a question in Slack and receiving a giant Claude answer pasted back verbatim. His point was blunt. If the recipient can ask Claude directly, forwarding raw output adds no value. It adds reading. It adds friction. The same failure appears in code review. Someone gives a ticket to a coding agent, never reads the implementation. The reviewers are now doing the implementation, while the nominal author acts as a biological API. This is the introvert trap. We like asynchronous tools because they protect energy, but raw model output often transfers the cognitive bill to someone else. The quiet standard should be prompt privately, validate the result, compress it, then write in your own words. If you cannot explain the answer, you are not delegating. You are routing noise. You are being a meat proxy. The best collaborators don't just pass the ball, they make sure it's the right ball and it's aimed at the right target. Add clarity, not volume. That is how you stay valuable in a world of infinite generation. So the signal this week is a three-part boundary. Make implementation inspectable before scheduling experts. Verify machine-generated urgency before opening work. And never make another person digest output you did not understand yourself. If you do one thing, add a human value check before every AI handoff. What did I verify? What did I decide? And what became easier? AI should remove social and operational friction. When it merely moves that friction to someone quieter, the workflow is not finished. Use that check on messages, code reviews, security tickets, and implementation plans. A clean handoff should carry the source and the decision. It should not carry synthetic confidence. The best async systems protect the recipient's attention as carefully as the sender's. That is how one quiet person scales without turning collaborators into quality control. Clear, concise, and human verified. Subscribe for AI tools and systems built for people who would rather bring clarity than volume. Until next week, keep it quiet.